Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we'll discuss about translation in case of prokaryotes. It is the protein synthetic process of prokaryotes, how it occurs, what are the steps, all these things. Okay. So in the previous classes also we have discussed that DNA is the genetic material and DNA transcribes the mRNA, and mRNA it carries the message for protein synthesis, and mRNA it is released into cytoplasm, binds to a particular ribosome, and ribosome scans the mRNA according to the codon sequence of mRNA. Different but amino acids they come to the ribosome in the protein synthetic site, and there occurs peptide bond formation and there occurs protein synthesis, that is the translation. But how and means how this process it occurs, what is the mechanism of protein synthesis in case of prokaryotes? Let's have a look. Before going to that, I'll tell you that the amino acids as usual they are not linked to the tRNA. As I have told you in the previous classes also, tRNA, these are the adapter molecules. They recognize the codon sequences of mRNA, and each codon as it codes for a particular amino acid. So, and as there are 20 amino acids forming the protein, so 20 different types of tRNA molecules must be there, and these tRNA molecules according to the codon sequences they bring one amino acids to the protein synthetic site. Okay, but these amino acids they are not easily bound to the tRNA molecule, and these amino acids they are activated first. Okay, that is what the first step of translation, activation of amino acid, and the second step is charging of tRNA. Okay, so activation of amino acid, let's have a look here. I have written here translation mechanism of protein synthesis. It involves first activation of amino acid and charging of tRNA. What is activation of amino acid? The 20 amino acids, these are activated by specific enzymes. For each amino acid a specific enzyme is there which activates the amino acid. How the amino acid is activated? And without activation the amino acid cannot be bound to the tRNA molecule. Okay, so aminoacyl tRNA synthetase, this is the enzyme which activates the amino acid. Means the amino acids they react with the ATP in presence of this enzyme to form amino acid AMP complex or amino acyl AMP complex. Means this is the amino acid which is activated. And the second step is charging of tRNA. This charging of tRNA is also done by the specific aminoacyl tRNA synthetase enzyme. This enzyme, it in the presence of what Mg++ ion, this the reaction is catalyzed by the aminoacyl tRNA synthetase enzyme. That the tRNA CCA sequence, in the previous classes also I have told you that the CCA sequence, that is the 3' end of the tRNA molecule in the acceptor arm, CCA sequence is present. This CCA sequence is the attachment site for the amino acid, and after the activated amino acid binds with the tRNA, the tRNA is charged, and this is called charging of tRNA, which is also conducted by the same enzyme aminoacyl tRNA synthetase. So this is the first two processes before translation begins. Okay, so the amino acids are activated and tRNA is charged. Means the charged amino acids they bound to the tRNA, or activated amino acids they bind to the tRNA molecule. Okay, so what are the steps of translation? See, there are three steps: initiation, elongation and termination. Initiation, how it occurs, I have also discussed all these things, that the ribosomes they have what, two units, smaller ribosomal subunit and larger ribosomal subunit, and the smaller ribosomal and larger ribosomal subunit they remain dissociated in the cytoplasm. But when there occurs protein synthesis, then only the ribosomal subunits they unite. Okay, so what happens? First, the 30S ribosomal subunit, that is the smaller ribosomal subunit, it interacts with the mRNA and the first tRNA molecule. So in the initiation step, what occurs? Diagrammatically I have represented everything very clearly, and it will be easy for you to understand all these things. Let's have a look here. See, initiation step, first the 30S ribosomal subunit, that is the smaller ribosomal subunit is there. There are three initiation factors involved. First, these three initiation factors are IF1, IF2 and IF3. The IF2 initiation factor 2, it is GTP linked. It is GTP linked. So first, the smaller ribosomal subunit, it is loaded with these three IF means initiation factors. IF1, IF2 and IF3, these are loaded on the smaller ribosomal subunit. And then the mRNA, that is the mRNA which codes for the message, which codes the message for the protein synthesis, automatically in case of prokaryotes it comes. And the first tRNA, that is the formyl methionine tRNA. As I have discussed that AUG is the initiation codon and it codes for methionine amino acid in case of eukaryotes and formyl methionine amino acid in case of prokaryotes. Okay, so the tRNA, it is now charged, it is activated, it is having the activated amino acid linked to the CCA sequence. So this is the first tRNA molecule. AUG is the first codon of mRNA. So the mRNA and the formyl methionine tRNA, automatically they come to the protein synthetic site and they are bound to the smaller ribosomal subunit. See here in the next diagram, IF1 and IF2, these are the initiation factors bound. This is the smaller ribosomal subunit and this is the first codon, AUG, initiation codon. This is the tRNA, this is the mRNA bound to the smaller ribosomal subunit. When this mRNA and tRNA they are loaded, then IF3, initiation factor 3, it is released out. Okay, so mRNA and formyl methionine tRNA, they are loaded here. Next step, what happens? The larger ribosomal subunit, it is brought by the next initiation factor, that is IF5. This IF5, it brings the 50s ribosomal subunit and loads it on the smaller ribosomal subunit having the mRNA and tRNA molecule. So when the 50s larger ribosomal subunit is loaded upon here, then the IF2 GTP, I have told you that IF2 it is GTP linked, this IF2 it is GTP linked, this GTP undergoes hydrolysis. The IF2 initiation factor 2 it is having GTP, priorly also I have told you. So this GTP it undergoes hydrolysis when the larger ribosomal subunit is loaded, and due to this hydrolysis of GTP of IF2, the IF1, IF2 they are released. IF2 now GDP, see here after hydrolysis I have shown here that IF1, IF2 it is GDP linked because it is dephosphorylated. There occurs hydrolysis of IF2 GDP, okay, and IF5. All these initiation factors are released out and the larger ribosomal subunit is loaded upon the smaller ribosomal subunit having the formyl methionine tRNA. So forming the initiation complex here. See, initiation complex is formed by the initiation factors in case of prokaryotes. 3 initiation factors first involved, then the 4th initiation factor, it brings the larger ribosomal subunit, dissociates the GTP of IF2 and all the initiation factors are released and initiation complex is formed. Okay, see, AUG is the first initiation factor. So AUG is the first initiation codon, and according to that is the anticodon UAC in the formyl methionine tRNA. So this is the initiation, means the translation process has been initiated now. Then what happens? Again, another thing to tell you that the larger ribosomal subunit, it can accommodate 3 tRNAs at a time. Okay, and there are 3 sites for that. Okay, so let's come to the next step, elongation. See, in the elongation step, what happens? Just I have told you that the larger ribosomal subunit, it is having 3 chambers or 3 sites for attachment of tRNA molecule. So here see the 3 sites. Out of that, the formyl methionine tRNA, it is loaded on the middle site. In the middle site, that is P, that is the peptidyl site, and this site is called exit site. This is peptidyl site. This is amino acyl site. So the first formyl methionine tRNA, it is loaded on the P site, peptidyl site. See here AUG is there, UAC tRNA, it is having formyl methionine, and this is the peptidyl site. Now this amino acyl site or A site, it is empty, and this is the exit site, it is also empty. So this is same as this. Okay, just here I have shown the 3 different sites of larger ribosomal subunit to accommodate the tRNA molecules. Okay, and for elongation also 3 elongation factors are involved. The first initiation factor is EFTU. EFTU is also linked to GTP. Okay, and according to the next codon, this EFTU, it brings the next tRNA, amino acyl tRNA, means charged tRNA linked to amino acid. So EFTU, see here the second codon I have written here GCC. GCC codes for the next amino acid, that is alanine. So alanine amino acid linked to the tRNA, and this amino acyl tRNA linked with alanine, it is brought by EFTU GTP. This is the elongation factor TU, EFTU. Okay, and this EFTU, it has the work to load this tRNA here in the amino acyl site, So upcoming tRNAs, amino acyl tRNAs, they will be loaded on the amino acyl site only. Okay, so it will load the tRNA here, and EFTU, it is dephosphorylated, it is hydrolyzed, and it is released as EFTU GDP complex. GTP, it is hydrolyzed to form GDP. Okay, if correct tRNA with amino acid is incorporated, then GTP, it undergoes hydrolysis. So see here this tRNA, it is loaded and the GDP EF2 it is released. So in the next diagram, see here, the first formylmethionine tRNA is there in the P site, and the next site, that is amino acid site, it is loaded with the alanine tRNA. Okay, and after these two tRNAs along with the amino acids loaded, there occurs peptide bond formation. There occurs peptide bond formation between these two amino acids, and this peptide bond formation, it is done by the larger ribosomal subunit only. And how it occurs? The larger ribosomal subunit contains the rRNAs. The ribosomal RNAs, they catalyze the peptide bond formation here. Okay, so means upcoming tRNAs, they will be loaded in the amino acid site, and there will be peptide bond formation. So this is the first elongation step, that the after initiation complex, next tRNA with the amino acid, it is loaded in the amino acid site, and there is peptide bond formation. And what happens? The next step of elongation is translocation. What is translocation? See here, I have shown you that AUC is the initiation codon, next codon is GCC, and now the ribosome, it is completely filled with the tRNA and amino acid. Now this ribosome, it has to move ahead towards the 3' site. This is the 5' to 3'. So towards the 3' of mRNA, the total ribosome, it shifts ahead. Means one codon apart, it will jump, and this process of jumping of ribosome towards the 3' site, it is called translocation or movement of ribosome. And this translocation, it is done by the next elongation factor, it is called EFG. EFG, it is also GTP linked. Okay, and after translocation, the EFG, it is also hydrolyzed and released as EFG GDP. So see in the next diagram what happens. As ribosome moves ahead, so AUG, this initiation codon, it moves here in the exit site, and GCC, the next codon, it moves to the peptidyl site. Okay, because ribosome shifts there, so mRNA will shift here, because ribosome, it moves ahead the mRNA. So AUG comes to the exit site, and GCC comes to the peptidyl site, and the next codon CAA, the next codon, it is CAA, the next codon, it comes to the amino acid site. See here what happens. Means just when the translocation occurs, when the ribosome, it is shifted, what happens? The formylmethionine, means the amino acid, it is discharged, means it is dissociated from the peptidyl site of tRNA. See here, the peptidyl tRNA, it leaves the formylmethionine amino acid here. The formylmethionine amino acid is linked to the alanine because it is bonded with the peptide bond to the alanine. So the formylmethionine bond, this bond will break, and this tRNA will shift to the exit site. And this tRNA, as it is dissociated from the amino acid, so now this tRNA is called uncharged tRNA. See now, this UAC tRNA, it is shifted here to the exit site, and the formylmethionine amino acid, it is remaining in the hanging condition with the alanine amino acid. The second amino acid is alanine, so with this it is remaining in the hanging condition. And as this tRNA, it moves here, this tRNA, it moves here, and there will be an empty site in the amino acid site or A site of larger ribosomal subunit. See here, this is the uncharged tRNA, this is the CGG, means this is the alanine tRNA here, and now the A site or amino acid site is empty, and this is the next codon. According to that, again this EF2, it will bring the next tRNA which codes the amino acid, means which is coded by the codon CAA. The next codon is CAA, so CAA codes to another amino acid, and that amino acid tRNA will be brought by the EF2 elongation factor, first elongation factor. But what happens here, EF2, after loading the alanine tRNA, it has released as what? EF2 GDP. So now this EF2 GDP, it has to be activated to EF2 GTP complex, so that it will bring the next amino acid to the A site, and it is done by the third elongation factor, that is EFTS. EFTS, it activates EF2 GDP to form EF2 GTP, so that again it will, according to the codon, next codon, third codon, it will bring the next amino acid to the amino acid site, which is empty in the larger ribosomal subunit. Is that clear? See, elongation process is nothing but one by one codons, they will enter to the amino acid site of ribosome, and the ribosome, there will be peptide bond formation between the amino acids in the next step, and in the third step there will be translocation. The ribosome, it will shift ahead, and the uncharged tRNA will move exit site, and there will be what? Continuous peptide bond formation between the amino acids, and the amino acids, they will remain in the hanging condition, that is the polypeptide chain will remain in the hanging condition to the tRNA molecule which is linked to the P site or peptidyl site, and continuously the amino cell site will be empty. Okay, this tRNA will move here, this tRNA will move here, and the amino cell site will remain empty each time, and the ribosome will move towards the 3' extreme end of the mRNA in this manner in the elongation step. And how termination occurs? As I have told you, out of 64 codons, there are 3 codons which are called nonsense codons, and they do not code for any amino acid. When the nonsense codon towards the 3' extreme end of mRNA, any one of the nonsense codon must be there. UAA, UAG and UGA. These 3 are the nonsense codons or stop codons. And any one out of these 3, it will be present towards the 3' extreme end of the mRNA molecule. And the ribosome, it studies it just scans the mRNA molecule, it moves ahead by translocation, and when it reaches to the extreme 3' end, what happens? To the A site, there will be entry of a stop codon. Let's discuss in the termination step. With this, elongation is over, and termination, see here, what happens? This is the uncharged tRNA as usual. I have told you that each time the tRNA, it is dissociated with the amino acid, and amino acids are linked by peptide bond formation. So here this is the uncharged tRNA in the exit site, this is the peptidyl site, and this is the amino cell site. And the ribosome, now it is totally scanned, and towards the extreme 3' end ribosome has reached. Means the mRNA is scanned totally by the ribosome towards up to the 3' end. And this is the UAA, one of the stop codon here. See, I have written here UAA. Okay, so before that, this is the codon which codes for another amino acid, and the amino acids are linked to form a polypeptide chain here. This polypeptide chain, it is linked to the tRNA molecule which is there in the P site, peptidyl site. Okay, and when the next codon, that is UAA, it reaches to the amino cell site due to translocation, as translocation is continuously there. Translocation means movement of ribosome is there towards the 3' end. So there will be movement of the uncharged tRNA to the exit site, peptidyl tRNA, it will having the polypeptide chain, and this UAA is the stop codon here. This UAA, UAG and UGA, they do not code for any amino acids, these 3 stop codons, and for them also there is no tRNA. So whenever any of the stop codons, they bind to the amino cell site of larger ribosomal subunit, there occurs binding of release factor. This is the release factor. And there are 2 release factors in case of prokaryotes, RF1 and RF2. Any one of these release factors, they bind here in the amino cell site. Okay, and this is the polypeptide chain or protein molecule. Okay, so when the release factor, it binds to the amino cell site, automatically the peptide, means the bonding between the tRNA, peptidyl tRNA and the protein, it dissociates. When the release factor binds in the A site, it triggers hydrolysis, it triggers breakdown of the bond between the polypeptide chain or protein with the tRNA which is present in the peptidyl site. So now protein is released. Okay, and there occurs dissociation of the smaller ribosomal subunit and larger ribosomal subunit. The 2 tRNAs, they are dissociated. This is the mRNA, it is also released, and this is the release factor. So there occurs release of mRNA, ribosomal subunits and tRNAs. So this is the termination or end of translation. Okay, so only the factors are involved. These factors, they help in the initiation. For initiation, there are 4 initiation factors: IF1, IF2, IF3 and IF5. Then for elongation, there are 3 initiation factors. EFTU is the actual elongation factor which brings one after one the amino acids, and it is the amino acids are loaded in the amino cell site. Okay, so here EFTU and then EFG, it is the next elongation factor which causes translocation, and this is the 3rd elongation factor, EFTS, which activates the EFTU's GDP to form EFTU GTP again, so that next amino cell tRNA will be brought to the amino cell site. So 3 elongation factors, and here release factor. Release factors are of 2 types in case of prokaryotes, RF1 and RF2. Out of that, any one will bind to the what? Amino cell site when the amino cell site is loaded with any of the stop codons. Okay, is that clear? So it is all about the translation and mechanism of protein synthesis in case of prokaryotes. Okay, so again I am explaining in a very short. See here, first the smaller ribosomal subunit is loaded by initiation factors, mRNA, and first methionine tRNA, they are automatically coming. IF3, it is released out. First initiation factor, the initiation factor 3, it is released out. Then the larger ribosomal subunit is brought by IF5. IF5, it is released out, and when it loads the larger ribosomal subunit, then IF2 GTP, the GTP of IF2, it is dissociated and it triggers release of all the initiation factors IF1, IF2 and IF5. All are released out and initiation complex is formed. Now this tRNA, it is present in the peptidyl site, that is the middle site of the larger ribosomal subunit. 3 sites are there: exit, peptidyl, amino acid. So this is the initiation complex. Next, according to next codon, next tRNA is brought by EFTU. EFTU is released as GDP complex when it incorporates the actual or correct amino cell tRNA to the amino cell site. There will be peptide bond formation done by the larger ribosomal subunit. Then there occurs translocation by EFG, elongation factor G. Then the uncharged tRNA will move. There will be dissociation of the bond between the tRNA and the amino acid. Amino acids are peptide bonded. Now this formylmethionine, it remains in the hanging condition as with the alanine, second amino acid. This is the uncharged tRNA in the exit site, and amino cell site becomes empty again. See here, amino cell site is empty. Here also again amino cell site is empty because of translocation. The ribosome moves ahead one after one. Codons, it will jump, and the new codons are incorporated continuously in the amino cell site. According to new codon, new amino acids are brought by the tRNA, and when it reaches to the extreme 3' end of mRNA, then any of the stop codons, they enter into the A site. And stop codons, they do not code for an amino acid, so release factor binds, and there occurs release of polypeptide chain, breakdown of the bonding between the tRNA and the protein. Protein is released, and the larger and smaller ribosomal subunits, they dissociate. The tRNA dissociates, and there will be termination of translation. Okay. So thank you for watching, and ask me if you have any doubts in the comment box, and I will also copy the link of any of the related things that I have taught you before. Supposed to be, I will attach the amino acids, I will attach the genetic code. Here the copies I will link here in the description box, and subscribe my channel for the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.